knitters, I'm Lois with Aussie Lozzie Knit Designs. Today we're going to be learning how to do the 2-color braided bind off. This is a bind off that I like to use when I'm knitting with more than one color, although you can use it even if you're knitting with just one color. But I love to finish my work off with more color if I'm doing color work. I like to really show those off at the start and finish of my work. And so one thing that I really love also about this bind off is how it creates a very decorative edge. And so it's a pretty standard look, but once you start using more than one color, it really starts to show off. And I think that you'll really enjoy it. If you've ever done the basic knitting bind off, this is going to be really easy for you because it's basically the same. We're just doing one thing different. We're going to be knitting in a main color, knitting in a contrasting color, and binding off, and then alternating the colors just like that, which I'll show you once we get to the knitting portion. Anyway, for today's tutorial, I'll be using a pair of 4mm knitting needles and 2 colors of worsted weight cotton yarn. Let's get started. Alright, so we're going to be doing the 2-color braided cast off or bind off. I already have some knitting I was working on with 2 colors. So we're just going to go ahead and bind that off. The first thing we want to do is knit a stitch. Remember that I told you it was just like the basic knitting bind off. So what we do with that is we knit the first 2 stitches, and that's all we do here. The difference is we knit one with green, one with yellow, or whatever colors you're using, taking turns between the 2 yarns. You're going to carry the yarn over just like you would in the basic bind off. And now we're ready for the next stitch. So one way to remember which comes next is what color's on your needles. So I have yellow on my needle, so that means I need to knit a green stitch. And then I'm going to pass the yellow over the green. And now what color do I knit? Well, I have green on my needles, so the next stitch needs to be yellow. And we'll just continue doing that. So we'll pass the green over the yellow. I've got yellow on my needle, so I need to knit with green. Passing that yellow over. And sometimes your yarn can get real loopy doing this because we're alternating. Just kind of tug it, but remember not to tug it very tightly because you don't want to end up having too tight of a cast off or bind off. So you might have to give it a little tug because it's getting unruly, but make sure that you're not tugging so tightly that you are having too tight of a bind off. Okay? See how it kind of just like gets a little cray. Anyway, so I've got green on my needles, and so I'll knit a yellow.
Yellow on my needles, knit a green. Green on my needles, knit a yellow. Yellow on my needles, knit a green.
Right, I would drop that last stitch. It's alright, that happens, right guys? You just have to keep trying. Alright, so then I'm going to give that a little tug. I will, cut both off. Like that. Okay, and then you can leave in your ends. But anyway, so here it is. I see I split that yarn. Don't pay attention to that. But there's your 2 braided color bind off, and it looks very beautiful. That's it for today, knitters. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the tutorial, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel. If you wanted to give this 2-color braided cast off a try, you can click the link below to get access to my free knitting pattern, which is a linen dishcloth and dish towel, and it will use this bind off method. And again, it's free. It creates a beautiful set of dishcloths and towels that you can keep for yourself or gift away. If there's a tutorial you would like me to make, please leave me a comment below. I'd love to make more tutorials for you. And let's connect. You can follow me on Instagram at Aussie Lozzie or on Pinterest, Aussie Lozzie Knits. Thanks so much for watching and happy knitting!